love this stuff because I love wearing a full face of makeup, especially on a sunny day, but I don't love getting sunburned. So I love being able to just spray this over my face like a couple times every hour or so, and knowing that it's not going to mess up my makeup. The white cast is honestly not a problem because I already paint my face white, so this just works even better. I know that some setting sprays have sunscreen in them, but I just love a sheer sunscreen over top of my makeup. This bath mitt, I love this thing like to death because it cleans so much better than a washcloth. And I don't like loofahs. I feel like you can't wash loofahs. I have washed this thing in the washer with some towels and stuff, and it's like fine. I love how clean this makes me feel. I can just completely lather in soap and just scrub myself till the cows come home. This works so beautifully. I know I mentioned it in my shower routine video, but I cannot stop raving about how good this is. I recommend this to anybody I get a chance to. I just love these so much. While I did say that I hate loofahs, this is not a loofah. This is a drawstring machine washable pocket for a bar soap that has the texture of the loofah. But the best part is you can wash it. I can hang this out to dry and then wash it and put my bar soap back into it and just drawstring it close. This is like amazing, especially for travel because I can't bring liquid soaps on the plane, so having this and a bar soap is absolutely wonderful. I loved taking this on vacation and it works really well. If you like bar soaps and you need a way to use bar soaps that are not just with your hands, with a washcloth or with a regular loofah, you can get a pack of 3 of them for like $10 on Amazon. So I highly recommend this if you want to up just the bar soap routine. I really like this little face scrubber thing that I got off of Yes Style. It was like $3 and I really like it with my oil cleansers. I feel like a regular, thick cleanser works really nicely with just your hands, a little bit of water, and a microfiber cloth. But I feel like an oil cleanser doesn't cleanse or work into the skin that well with just my fingers. And I decided to just get a scrubber, and I like it a little bit better. I feel like it's more efficient. I wear a lot of makeup, and I use an oil cleanser to take it off. And I feel like this just does a lot more of a thorough job with working the cleanser in and taking off my makeup and cleaning my face of the days. Just, build up. Got this scalp scrubber at Walmart. It was like $4. If you grew up with thick, textured, or curly hair and use a lot of product, and you were actually taught how to take care of your hair, then you already know how amazing these are. I did not discover this until last year, and it has done so much for my hair growth, for my hair not getting super oily, just for making my scalp feel so clean. I use a crap ton of hair product when I style my hair because I style it for the week, and then when it's time to wash, trying to get all of it off my hair, out of my scalp, and just getting my scalp clean and giving my hair a chance to relax. I feel like my fingers and my nails just weren't doing enough, so having a scalp scrubber has been so helpful. I definitely think that regardless of hair texture or type, having something to truly clean your skin, a bristled mask applicator has been such a convenience to me. It is just something that I really appreciate having in my arsenal, especially with more liquidy masks, things like peel-off masks or the zombie pack that I showed in a recent short. It's just having a bristled applicator allows for something to go on so smoothly, unlike with a thicker mask texture like a clay mask. These grooved tweezers that come in every single toner pad kit are one of the most convenient items I have at my disposal, because with having really long acrylic nails, trying to pick up one toner pad without dropping it or accidentally grabbing 6 isn't super fun, and I don't love love spending time on that. So just the little tweezers that they come with have quickly become one of my favorite little tools to use because they grab the one without dropping it. It's a really nice convenience, and I like, having it. From that, I feel like it's just a bit more sanitary that they made eyebrow razors, like specifically for the purpose of shaving your eyebrows, are one of the best things in the world. I very clearly do not have eyebrows. I like dragging my eyeshadow up and over where my eyebrow would be and trying to shave them off with a single blade metal razor or a multi-blade plastic razor. Just always left like nicks and cuts, and it would irritate the skin. The multiple blades would like leave tiny little cuts that would bleed, and they would pimple and turn into acne up here, and it just wasn't fun, especially trying to shave them off before doing my makeup. It caused me so many issues, so I love having these things that just have a dedicated purpose of getting rid of my eyebrows. It's like one of the best things that I have discovered since learning to do my makeup, honestly. Wrist cuff things, they always come with a matching headband. I don't really know what the actual name of them is, but I love having these. I love using them to wash my face because I don't love the water and the cleanser mix going down my elbows onto the floor. So just having these to catch the water and stuff, and then being able to use my hand exfoliant with these as well, again, so the water doesn't go down my elbows, doesn't get on the floor or on the counter. Again, just another really nice convenience that I definitely appreciate having when I do my skincare. Cloth face mask cover is one of my favorite self-care items. I love soaking it in really, really hot water and just laying with this on my face and just relaxing. Or when I indulge in a sheet mask, I love putting this on over so that I can wear my sheet mask and not have it moving around everywhere. So I love that this just keeps it in place and that it can be a really relaxing tool to use. So, just really nice to be able to just have it on. My body care routine. Body wash. I like to start with a really nice body wash. I'm using the coconut milk and rose from Victoria's Secret, but I have a few scents in rotation. Usually I will take it and apply it to this bath mitt that I got off of Yes Style. I really like it. I feel like it cleans me the way that I want to be cleaned. What I don't like about a loofah that I like about this is that it feels like I'm being scrubbed and not just scratched, which is really nice. But usually I'll wet the bath mitt, I will apply the soap, and then I will scrub myself down, which is really nice when I come home from work and I come to film videos. So I would highly recommend getting one of these just because I feel so much cleaner after using it. Exfoliating body glow. Usually if I'm not using a body scrub, I will use this one that I got from Bath and Body Works. I got this one around Christmas time and I like it a lot because I feel like it leaves me kind of glowy, if that makes sense. I wish that they made more of these just because I like this so much. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I run out. Exfoliating body scrub. I like body scrubs. I love my body scrubs, but I don't like sugar body scrubs. I feel like if you don't wash them off properly, then you can just end up really sticky and gross. I like to put these exfoliating gloves on and then scoop up a handful and just scrub myself from the shoulders down. My neck gets done with the rest of my facial skincare. Just because I feel like the skin's too sensitive for my body care exfoliation. But if y'all have any other non-sugar body scrubs you want to recommend, I would love to hear about them. Shaving cream. I don't shave my body very often, but if I feel like my like exfoliating isn't getting underneath the hair. Like, I just don't feel like I'm clean enough, then I will shave if I so decide to. But when you do shave, always make sure that you're using something to layer your skin, like a shaving oil. I use the pomegranate and raspberry shaving cream from EOS, and I've liked it the few times that I've used it, just because I don't shave like my legs and arms super often. Um, but just I use a single blade metal razor to go with it. Foliating foot scrub. I am on my feet all day at work, and I don't like the idea of having calloused feet. I like to take really good care of them and keep them pretty manicured. Um, so just to like keep them relatively soft, to keep them from like cracking, I exfoliate my feet every time I shower, or about 5 times a week. Cracked heel treatment. I bought this and a hand scrub in my previous video, and I said that I would tell you guys if I liked them, and I do a lot. My feet get so sore and so dry at times, so not even just after exfoliating, I apply this pretty regularly. Moisturizing. Typically, after the shower, I will use a body cream first just to get a thick layer of moisture on. And then, if it's during the day, I will reapply a lotion for a thinner but like equal layer of moisture, just because I feel like if you apply too much body cream, it starts to pill. If I'm going to bed, if it's at night, I will just apply a really good layer of body cream before I go to sleep so I don't dry out during the night. This also is a really good way for me to be able to layer my scents and fragrances so that it's not too much of one thing, because sometimes a really strong fragrance can be kind of weird before bed. Fragrance. Usually, after everything, I like to just spritz on some body spray just to feel like I've completed a routine. I especially love the Bombshell Intense Body Mist from Victoria's Secret. I do own the proper perfume, which I like to wear during the day because it lasts like significantly longer. But just to feel like I've completed my routine, to feel good, to smell good, I like to just throw on a few spritzes of body spray. I own a plethora of body sprays, and we'll probably make a video on it as my beauty secrets. My bangs, you might have noticed, have been clipped up for the sake of not irritating me. Starting with hair, there are a few things that I like to do. Hair masks. I don't just apply a hair mask. I have a couple different hair masks that I like to use, but usually after I double shampoo, I apply a thicker hair mask to the lengths of my hair and a thinner one to the roots of my hair. Usually just because I don't condition my roots. They get oily pretty fast if I do. So I want to get the benefits of a hair mask, but I feel like if I use the thicker one all over, it's just not gonna do what I want it to do. So I have 2-layer hair masks. I don't know if you're supposed to do that or if it like has any negative side effects, but it's worked pretty well so far. I have like a hair mix, hair blend, actually. I think that's what I'm supposed to say. So I start, usually I will oil my hair before I wash it, and I mix my hair, a blend of hair oils to get the right mixture for my hair. I mentioned this in my restock video. But what I will also do is use a hair lotion. This bottle is dying. I use hair lotion. I don't use a curl cream. I found them to flake. A few of the ones that I've used anyways. I haven't tried a lot of them, but I've tried about 4 or 5. And I've noticed that they flake specifically on my hair. I don't know why this is different, but it works the same way that curl creams work for other people. It works works really well. It keeps them relatively nice and shaped, and I do like applying it to the ends, specifically when it's a particularly rough wash day and I know that my hair is going to be super frizzy, so it does work really well. My foundation base, I love a stark, ghostly white, as you can tell. But the way that I get that very stark white is I use the LA Girl Pro Coverage in the white shade, and to get it a super bright white, I use the white mixing pigment, and then I top it with the white concealer, specifically in places where I'm going to be putting more product, around my eyes, around my lips, over where my eyebrows should be, just because I find that it gives me the best coverage, the most, like, full coverage look. It doesn't really let any color from my skin peek through. It's a really stark clown white, and I love it. That is, like, my best base routine for a good, like, just a completely white base. Up next is blush. I love a really thick liquid blush, but sometimes I don't want it to be super pink, so usually I'll just take my pink blush covered sponge and put it all over my highlighter. It works though, it does, because it makes my blush like really glittery, and it just like already highlights my cheeks, which usually is the goal. I've given up on trying to keep this clean. It's pink now. It's pink now. But it has worked out really well because I love a completely painted doll face, and having the really dark blush on top, the blended light pink blush under my eyes with the highlight, just pulls the whole makeup look together for me. So I just kept doing it. It started completely by accident, so now it's just completely cemented itself into my routine. For anybody wondering what this is, it is the She Glam Lunar Highlighter. So, a little spaceship. These, like, marshmallow sponges. I got these off Yes Style. I got a set of 2, and I love these, like, big, squishy ones that are kind of like a powder puff. How I apply my foundation. I don't know. I haven't seen any videos of people doing this, but I apply the product either. I apply the product to the sponge, I pump it on the sponge, and then I like paint it around, and then I blend it in, and I do like 5 or 6 layers, like foundation and stuff like that. I don't know if that would technically be considered sacrilegious, because you apply with a brush and you blend with a sponge. You don't brush and then blend with a sponge. It sounds so dumb, but in my head somebody's going to be calling sacrilege on me for how I apply my foundation. Washing. I mentioned this in, I think, my shower routine video, but I exfoliate like 2 or 3 times. I do this like once or twice a week. But I start with this like exfoliating bath mitt, and I'll use like some kind of shower gel or soap, and I go in and I wet the bath mitt, I apply the soap, I turn the water off, and scrub every inch of skin that can be scrubbed about shoulders down. You don't want to like have this kind of harsh texture on like your neck or your face, or like really delicate areas. And then after that, I typically just like scrub and scrub. After that, I go in with a pair of exfoliating gloves and an exfoliating scrub or product, and then I scrub again, everything from shoulders down, and then for a 3rd time, usually with just a wet, clean bath mitt, I'll go in and wash or get off anything that I might have missed when rinsing, just because I find this gets me the cleanest. It's been helping significantly with like skin texture, because I've been scraping it off. and honestly just body acne in general, keeping the surface as like clean and exfoliated and sanded down as possible. After that, usually I will go in with some kind of body serum, and then I will use either a hyaluronic acid lotion or a retinol body lotion, just to kind of bring balance and moisture back into my skin. Usually, I will layer my products, body serum, body oil, and then lotion. If I absolutely need to, I'll put a body butter on top of it, just with the thickest layer on top to keep the moisture locked in, because I don't want to dry out, or that kind of just completely undoes all of the work that I just did, scrubbing off all of my skin texture. Um, if you have sensitive skin, do not try that at all, under any circumstances. I can hear the dermatologist now yelling at me for basically exfoliating 3 times. I love a good sheet mask, but these ones specifically, they are like one of my favorites, but they come with so much juice that I will kind of just mix the extra with a sensitive skin unscented lotion, just because I don't think that you should be mixing a ton of fragrance with your skincare ingredients. I'll either do that or a retinol oil. I did not love this on my face, but I've been loving it as a body oil, specifically mixed in with a pretty decent amount of just like plain unscented regular lotion, just like mixing a couple drops of this in. It's been doing a lot for my acne scars that I have on like my arms and my legs, and honestly kind of helping a little bit with some of the scarring that I have there as well. Sensitive skin ASMR. Double cleanse. Oil cleanser.
see. Sarah. 100%. not irritate the acne. Exfoliating can be really helpful with blackheads, but it's important to know which exfoliants to use. These Glow Recipe Toner Pads contain LHA and AHA. LHA is great for unclogging pores filled with sebum and reduce blackheads similar to salicylic acid, but it is much gentler and much more gradual, and it's great for sensitive skin. AHA is also really important because it breaks down dead skin cells and blocked pores. BDRN, well, the one that I have is vegan, can be really great for indirectly helping your acne or your blackheads. Instead of directly dissolving the oil that causes blackheads and buildup, it smooths and evens moisture, preventing the excess oil buildup. A probiotic serum can be really helpful with blackheads by balancing and reducing excessive oil production and helping to strengthen the skin barrier to prevent the congestion that causes blackheads. Niacinamide doesn't just help with excess acne, but also with blackheads. It doesn't necessarily fix them, but more so is a preventative measure to manage the oiliness that causes them rather than helping to dissolve them over time. It is pretty effective as a long-term skin congestion manager. enzyme cleanser can be really good for gently exfoliating and removing the top layer of dead skin, excess oils, and dirt that are causing the acne without causing excess irritation. Niacinamide for fading dark acne spots, small blemishes, and improving overall skin texture, especially those really small little bumps that we think can be extracted and they cannot. A retinol can be very helpful with acne because it is great for mature skin. It improves cell turnover and keeps dead skin cells and oil from sticking together on your skin, which is what causes blackheads and whiteheads. Moisturizer containing salicylic acid and lactic acid can be very helpful. Salicylic acid dissolves excess oil and dead skin, and lactic acid gently exfoliates the skin to keep the oil and debris from sticking together to create blackheads and whiteheads. A ceramide moisturizer can be great for soothing inflamed, acne-prone skin. Lastly, I thought it would include something that you should be looking for and avoiding with severe or currently treating your acne. This product, while I love it, is not necessarily safe for acne-prone skin. It contains something called benzoate, which can be helpful for skin, but not necessarily with acne. Benzoyl peroxide can be helpful, however, checking to make sure that the ingredients aren't going to irritate your acne can be incredibly important. skincare, to the ingredients, and when to use them. We're going to start with the cosmetic industry's most recent obsession, which is niacinamide in serum or in toner form. Niacinamide is a pretty light, pretty good to work with ingredient. It tends to work well with things like retinols, hyaluronic acid. It plays nice with most skincare ingredients. When to apply niacinamide, firstly, would be goodness, either in the morning for your sunscreen or in the evening, a little bit before you go to bed. You want it to fully absorb. You don't want to have a wet skincare face, lay on your pillow, and then turn on your side. You want the skincare in your skin, not on your bedding. Layering niacinamide, usually you want to start anything over 10%. You want to start by using 2 to 3 times a week after a proper batch test. 2 to 3 times a week, and very slowly, very carefully increase to daily use, specifically with higher concentrations. I have this one from SkinFect. It is a brightening serum and it has 10% niacinamide. You want to be careful with higher concentrations. This toner, however, I'm pretty sure, honestly, it might not even have that high of a concentration because it says nowhere on the bottle the concentration. It is a pretty light toner, so it does work well after a gentle cleanser. Almost always use a gentle cleanser. You don't want anything too heavy with active ingredients because too many active ingredients at once is usually what causes dermatitis, skin inflammation, acne. That really rough, red, scaly texture on your skin can come from too many active ingredients, niacinamide being one of them. Specifically with a niacinamide cream, this is the Haru Wonder 5% niacinamide radiance gel cream. I will keep it really simple with a light cleanser, regular toner, some vitamin C, a little bit of this. I do about 2 fingertips worth for my face and neck, and then I will layer all of that under a just really good ceramide moisturizer. Usually with most active ingredients, you want to finish with a ceramide moisturizer because it's light and it's really gentle on the skin, specifically if you want your active ingredients to work the best. Vitamin C and hyaluronic acid is probably the most beginner-friendly of active ingredients that you can find in skincare because they are in just about everything. When applying vitamin C and hyaluronic acid, you want to start with, like I said previously, a good gentle cleanser. You usually don't want anything with enzymes because they can be an exfoliant and you don't want to. I usually don't exfoliate if I'm going to use um, serum, my active ingredients in serum form. I save that for my active moisturizers with active ingredients. For serums specifically, I will gentle cleanse and then you're going to apply your serums, 2 to 3 drops, pumps. Seems to be pretty good for the entire face. I like to let it absorb fully, let it dry before I apply my moisturizer and my sunscreen. Um, just to keep, just because you want to layer your consistencies thinnest to thickest to make sure everything locks down. It's not like recommended that you apply them in the morning or at night. They work great for both. Vitamin C and hyaluronic acid do really well to lock in moisture and keep you from drying out. I live in a desert, so this is super important. Next is probiotics. I know a lot of people take them, but they do come also in a serum or facial mist form. With applying probiotics, they tend to play very nicely with hyaluronic acid as a good way to just have a very moisturizing skincare routine. Um, Again, best to start with a gentle cleanser. toner, and then apply your probiotic serums, usually before your heavier or thicker moisturizers. Um, it's best to pat or press it in instead of just rubbing it in like I would a regular serum. I know that on their website they recommend just using it in the evening and then increasing frequency. I use this when I remember to use it. I feel like that's just what we all do, regardless of brand suggestion. But I do like this facial mist. It's very hydrating. I do like a nice gimmick. I do apply all over my face. I pat it down, I let it dry, and then I apply my other moisturizers. Usually with probiotics, you want to use a really light moisturizer just because you don't want to over scrub and destroy the healthy bacteria that probiotics usually tend to add. EDRN, the scariest skincare ingredient to date. This is the Equalberry rice PDRN. It's vegan, obviously. PDRN can be great for helping to calm down skin inflammation and skin irritation, but it's important to know how you should be using it. We're gonna again start with our gentle cleansers, our toners. PDRN tends to be thick and milky. Lord. Um, so you want to apply this towards the end of your skincare routine. Usually this is going to be the last thing you apply with your others after your other serums, but before your creams. PDRN tends to work really nicely along ceramide, hyaluronic acid, and niacinamide. Layering these correctly can honestly create the best barrier protection hydration routine. Usually, you don't want to immediately mix this with retinols or harsh exfoliants like AHAs and BHAs, really just to prevent irritation. Um, I find it best to just keep with a ceramide moisturizer for things like this, just to keep it really nice, really light, so that none of the ingredients irritate each other. You don't want to make them mad. It's everybody's favorite. Can be really good for acne, for more mature skin. Um, really, whatever you use it for, it is really easy to screw up your entire skincare routine if you aren't careful with how you use retinol. Retinol is a great ingredient. Usually, you want to start with 1 to 2 times a week and then slowly, gradually increase to about every other night if your skin can tolerate it. It is a very high active ingredient. For sensitive skin specifically, you want to apply a very thin, light layer of moisturizer. Ceramide moisturizers are my go-to before the retinol to make sure you aren't increasing the risk of irritation and just only slightly decreasing the effectiveness because you're applying this on top of another cream product. When applying your retinol, you want to avoid really sensitive areas like under your eyes or on your nose or on your mouth. You don't want it to just dry these areas out because they can get very scaly. They can get really irritated really quickly. I remember making that mistake once. I had a cluster of pimples around the corners of my mouth. It was awful. So you want to be very careful with retinol. It is a super strong active ingredient and can be great if you keep it with lighter ingredients like vitamin C or niacinamide in very low concentrations. And even PDRN, again, in very low concentrations. You don't want to mix it with really high active ingredients like salicylic acid, benzyl acid, in the same routine, just because it can cause very mild irritation or very severe irritation. salicylic acid and lactic acid should be used on their own. I will scream it from the rooftops. You are not doing yourself any favors if you mix your salicylic acid, your lactic acid, with things like retinol or with really high concentrations of niacinamide. They don't play nicely with others. They don't. If you're going to use lactic acid or salicylic acid, it needs to be the only thing that you're using for that day. A gentle cleanser, just that salicylic acid, lactic acid in whatever form, and then a ceramide moisturizer, ceramide toner with it if you're feeling extra spicy. But what you don't want to do is just apply all of these ingredients at once, especially with salicylic acid and lactic acid. Again, they don't play nicely with other ingredients. Use them on their own. Gentle cleanser, ceramide moisture, ceramide toner, lactic acid or salicylic acid, ceramide moisturizer. Just let that be the main active ingredient in your routine for that day, because it just doesn't work very well with other ingredients. It can cause severe irritation, dryness, peeling, redness. It's not smart to use it with other things. I didn't intend for this to become an angry rant about salicylic acid. How I healed my bleach damaged hair. Healing bleach damaged hair is by no means easy. For I think like 4 years from 2018 to I think no, sorry, it was 2021 up until I think about a year ago. I was dyeing my hair like platinum blonde. I had vivids, really pastel light vivids, and my hair was completely fried. It felt like chicken wire. It could honestly stand up on its own. I didn't need hairspray for anything. My hair just stayed completely still. It was horribly damaged. It was breaking off. And honestly, I was to an extent losing my hair. It was so horribly damaged because I didn't know how to take care of it at the same time. That it was just starting to fall off, and I knew I needed to stop. And I didn't just need to stop, I needed to fix it. So we're gonna start with how I fixed it because my hair it's not 100% healthy, but it's the healthiest that it's been since I started dyeing my hair. My hair actually has some softness to it now, and it does move. It doesn't feel like chicken wire anymore. The biggest thing is having a moisture and protein based routine. I didn't know how to take care of my hair when I had started bleaching it. I was barely using conditioner, which I know is a cardinal sin, especially if you have curly or textured hair. So just the biggest thing was starting with moisture and honestly just taking care of my scalp. I wasn't washing my hair properly. I had buildup on top of buildup, and that was not only keeping my hair from growing, but it was a big reason as to why my hair was like, honestly, kind of like spaghetti when it was wet. It just stretched. It was awful. So getting started was starting with my scalp. First thing I started with was oiling my hair regularly. It was using a proper shea butter and vitamin formula, black castor oil, and vitamin E, letting that sit, marinate, massaging it into my hair and my scalp for I think about 30 minutes. Like I mentioned previously, 2 to 3 times a week. And then after that was proper washing. You can't just put shampoo on your hair, give it little sudsy suds, and wash it out. You can't just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh in your hair. That's not gonna work. You can't do that. I started using a proper scalp scaling shampoo. Obviously, this is in no way sponsored. I don't have that kind of audience, but I love this one from Aromatica, the Rosemary Scalp Scaling Shampoo. has been instrumental in treating my dandruff. My scalp was inflamed and flaking, and it was driving me crazy. I don't have it with me, but I do also use a scalp scrub with this product specifically. After using the scaling shampoo on my scalp, I use a regular curly hair shampoo on the lengths of my hair. This on the lengths of my hair would honestly just be too drying. I have made that mistake, it's the only reason I know. But a proper moisture shampoo for the lengths of your hair is so important. Another important thing with healing your breakage and your bleach damage fried hair is knowing how to layer your products. You want to use protein or bond treatments. There is, oh goodness, if I can find the label. There is this protein treatment from Heritage that I have been using a lot recently. It's almost empty like that. Almost completely gone. Or this biotin mask that I got from Cure Zero. I love a vegan hair mask because my allergies. So I love a good biotin protein hair mask that is vegan. We love to see it. After that is proper conditioning. For a while I was using the Shea Moisture products. But I can't remember the reason I stopped. I think they were too heavy for my hair if I remember correctly. So I did switch to Maui Moisture. Using a proper conditioner, not just rinsing it out right away. You want to work with it, work it through your hair, let it froth up a little bit, and leave it in. You don't just want to put it in, rub it through, and then wash it out right away. You can just with your conditioner. You can't. Work it through, let it sit for me, I like to let it sit about 10 minutes. I'll brush my teeth usually while I'm conditioning my hair. But after that, and I'll rinse it out with warm water or hot or warm water. I don't like cold water for the scalp. Not any particular reason, I just don't like it. Your care, you taking care of your hair is super important. You can't just use your regular conditioner. You need to use a leave-in conditioner with it. They work together. Using one without the other just doesn't work as well, if at all. You need both. They work together. They are best friends. They work with you. Use conditioner and leave-in conditioner. I use this hyaluronic acid one from Elvive. I'm on my second bottle. I love it. I've talked about it before. It's great. As well as applying your leave-in conditioner, making sure that you're taking care of your scalp outside of the shower, not just properly washing it is important. I use this scalp therapy serum from Dove. This is my third bottle. As you can see, I like it a lot. It is great for cooling down your scalp and just honestly, I don't know if it's just a placebo effect, but honestly, I do feel like it soothes my scalp after washing, conditioning, hair masks, all of that. And then for the lengths of my hair, I do like to go in with a bond-in oil or serum just to help with the protein treatments that I'm using to fill in the gaps that bleach created and basically fried. I am using this one from L'Oreal. It is Everpure, but another just really good oils to incorporate in your hair. For like bond-in oils would be argan oil, jojoba oil. Um, just a really good oil that conditions and holds in moisture. That is going to be the biggest thing with fixing fried hair. Just really bonding treatments in general can be great if you know how to use them. I have this rebonding treatment from Heritage. This is one that you apply before your hair care routine. I know that there are some that you can apply afterwards. I'm aware of the red kinesthetic bonding, the Olaplex, the Brazilian Bond Builder. Those are all really good products. This is just one that I have. This is the one that I use. it says to apply, it says, goodness, I read these directions every day, but you just apply a good amount to the lengths and ends of your hair and leave it in for 3 to 5 minutes. I have the horrendous habit of leaving it in for 10, but I feel like that makes it work better. Maybe. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. But not just these products, but consistency. I've been at this for over a year, and I'm just now getting my hair to a decently healthy point. Another big thing with taking care of fried hair is to trim it regularly, not cut, just trim. I'll take about an inch off every couple of, like every 2 to 3 months. For me, feels like a good spot for trimming my hair, just making sure that I'm constantly keeping up with the dead ends so there isn't more breakage, so that I'm not, so that I'm preventing worst case scenario with my hair.